The countdown to Election Day now just 8 weeks away. Vice President Harris and former President Trump finally faced off last night in a highly anticipated and highly contentious ABC News presidential debate.
And joining us now with analysis is former DNC chair and ABC News contributor Donna Brazile and the Republican governor of New Hampshire, Sununu. Good to see you guys, and thanks a lot for being on. So, Donna, we'll start with you. Your take from last night. Things got a little heated a couple of times.
Well, first of all, let me just tell you that the vice president gave a very solid performance. She didn't have to go in there and win the debate. She had to own the moment. This was her opportunity, starting with that handshake. Look, she walked on that stage and she went to the president, the former president, and said, "Good morning, Mr. President." Maybe she said, "Good afternoon, Mr. President," but she did say, "My name is Kamala Harris." I thought it was a great moment for the vice president to show once again that she has what it takes to be president of the United States. She was able to get across her issues. She was able to put the former president, on defense. But more importantly, she was able to talk to the American people about the issues they care about. A lowering inflation, which we learned today, it's down to 2.5%, pre-pandemic level. She talked about lowering prices at the grocery store, at the gas pump. So this was a moment for the vice president to show that she had the leadership to not only deliver for the American people, but she had the vision for the future. I give her an A+ in terms of her performance.
Governor, what were your takeaways watching it?
Well, I'll agree. I think the vice president had a game plan, stuck to it, and it worked. It really did. I'll disagree a little bit. I think there was a lot of frustration. I mean, at least as watching as a Republican, you're watching, and she was able to not have to get into some details. But she didn't want to have to answer for the last 3 years, but she didn't do that badly. And in the last 20 seconds of every one of her answers, she kind of hit Trump with a personal attack, knowing that that's his vulnerability, knowing that that is what's going to stick in his ear, and that's what he was going to respond to. So she was able to keep him kind of on the defensive, on kind of off of his game. And I thought the former president missed some opportunities to talk about price controls, to talk about, have that empathetic connection with what the cost of living has really meant. You know, for example, when they asked the vice president, are people better off now than they were 4 years ago? Completely avoided all of that. Trump should have really, stuck with it. But, she was able to kind of get under his skin and force kind of that personal discussion a little bit to avoid the issues. So, again, she did very well. There's no question about it. The question is, for that 8 to 10% of swing voters, what did it mean to them? We don't really care about the bases, right? They're set. But that 8 to 10% of swing voters who care about the cost of things, public safety, those are their key issues. I think it's going to move the needle a bit for her. There's no people say it's not going to move the needle. It will. 80% of those swing voters care about, real discussion, real issues, cost of living. 20% are more on the stylistic side, and she did very well there.
Governor, I want to ask you, it was really unusual. We saw the former president in the spin room, which is, right. You never see that after a debate like this. What do you think he needs to do going forward as we get to Election Day? So
he's in the spin room because he clearly had it in his mind, wait, I have something else to say. He knew it wasn't his best moment. He knew that he should have been focusing a little more on the issues and wanted to kind of get that last word in there. So that, I think, shows that he understands that it wasn't the best night. It wasn't devastating for one side or the other. There's 55 days to go. And I think the opportunity that's going to present on the Republican side here is that rent comes due. Those credit card bills come in, electricity bills come in. The real pains that America is feeling on the cost of living, those are going to keep coming no matter how many political ads you run. And it's those anxieties that drive that swing voter. And will it be enough to say, yes, who's the agent of change that can help this problem? Is Kamala enough of an agent of change for her boss, or is that really, getting back to former President Trump? And we don't like his approach, and we don't like his personality sometimes, but boy, people do want a cultural change out of Washington, D.C. So there's still a lot of game to play. And the majority of those swing voters, they really won't decide who they're going for till maybe the second week in October, right? They'll be patient with it, and we'll see where it all plays out.
And Donna, how big of a deal is it that Taylor Swift is saying she's going to vote for the Harris-Walz ticket?
I think it's very important. Look, I know campaigns are about moments, and having someone with her background, I read it. I couldn't believe it. I'm a Swiftie. My students at Georgetown taught me years ago when Karma came out, Midnight, the album. She inspires hope. This is a woman who, if you read just some of the lyrics of her songs, she understands how you overcome the emotional loss of someone that you gave it all to. She understands how to move people to the ballot box. Taylor Swift is not just a celebrity. She is a change maker. She encourages people to use the power to vote to make change. But God knows, 280 million people on Instagram, this woman can move the needle. And I'm not just talking about records.
Donna Brazile, the Swiftie. I had no idea.
Had no clue, right?
Governor Chris Sununu, we will be watching those swing states and those swing voters to see how this all shapes out. Thank you.
Good to see you guys, yes.
Thank you.